Hello, everyone. Wayne here from Think Management. This channel is all about providing you with tips and techniques for success. Today, I'd like to talk to you about building confidence. Are you a confident person? Do you feel confident in everything that you do? Or perhaps do you feel more confident in doing certain things as opposed to other things? Let me tell you a story. When I was little, about 5, 6 years old, my parents were sending my brother and I to swimming lessons. Well, I was not a confident swimmer. In fact, I did not like the water, did not like getting near the water. I would say that I had a healthy fear of the water itself, but it was not something on my to-do list. I wanted to stay home, play outside, play with my trucks and my wagons and things like that, and really have a good time as opposed to going to swimming lessons during the summer. Well, I'll never forget the swimming lessons lasted 2 weeks. These 2 weeks, I would look for any excuse I could to get out of swimming lessons. I would fake a knee injury, a stubbed toe, an upset stomach, run back and forth to the water fountain once we got there, or even run in the bathroom several times just to all get out of participating at swimming lessons. Well, lo and behold, that time came one summer when I was young, and the same 2 weeks of dreadful excuses and pitiful performances and anything I could conjure up, I was repeating the process. And I looked toward the deep end of the pool, and my brother jumps off, who's younger than me, jumps off the diving board. And anyways, when he did, he landed directly on top of the person that was in the deep end treading water. Well, lo and behold, they just took him to the side to the ladder. He got out, never acted, never said anything to him. And I sat there and wondered, why is he able to do that? And although he jumped directly on someone, which I must admit is still a funny memory in my mind today, I had to think, if he could do it, I know I can do it. And lo and behold, something changed even in my mind at such a young age that confidence in doing something such as simple as jumping off the diving board into the deep end, although we work ourselves up to it, can easily be obtained and learned through repetitive actions. Now, while I didn't quite understand that at such a young age, now I can say that I went ahead and jumped off the diving board and, in fact, love to swim even to this day. But that learning experience sticks in my mind as I was thinking about it today, and got a good laugh out of it. Let me tell you another story. Confidence does not come easy, especially when getting in front of the camera. I must say that when I was making my first video, I probably made the video 15 times. I would stutter, I would stop on words, I would say the wrong word. I would even get caught up on using the improper tense of a word, and I would want to start over the whole video. Never did I truly understand that the confidence means to push through, to push forward, to acknowledge your mistakes, and to move on. Well, now, just a few videos in, it feels like an eternity has passed since started making videos. But what I have learned is that confidence is all in the eye of the beholder. And although we may lack confidence in certain areas and feel more confident in other areas of our lives, we all can benefit from having and knowing what it takes to build confidence. So today I want to talk to you about building confidence. Now, I truly believe one of the first things in our lives when we talk about building confidence is acknowledging and recognizing that nobody's perfect. Well, in saying that nobody's perfect, we must understand that we will not win at everything in life. In fact, the people that have the mentality of win at all costs relationship, a lot of times that type of personality damages relationships, damages friendships, and hurts themselves in the long run. Realizing that you're not perfect, and a lot of times in life, that even if you don't win, quote unquote win the event or win the argument or win the circumstances surrounding you. It's how we respond in those types of situations, and when we get back up again, as mentioned in my previous videos, that builds that confidence. And we learn through ourselves that if we can accept the failures in life, then we can appreciate the successes in life. Next, in building confidence, we must not cling to the past. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people that have just clung to the past and missed even what was directly in front of them. For instance, when I was in college, I was taking a very hard class. It was called fluid dynamics, and some of you watching may remember that class. It was a fun class. It was a very hard class. Well, in clinging to the past, what really happened during this class was that um, some people were taking it for the second and even for the third time, and they would cling to what happened in those prior classes and doubt their abilities to actually pass this class in the present tense at that time. And I remember talking to students, and they would be the first week of class, and they would just be so down that some of the common grades in these on the test might have been a 15 or a 20, and some of you out there, it might shock you. Well, I must say that it was a hard professor, and the professor intentionally gave us these hard tests to help build our confidence, believe it or not, in the end. And the professor would always tell us, stick with it. It's going to be fine. But if you stick with it to the end, it will be okay. And we had to learn quickly as a class that although if our grade started as a is what seemed to be a extremely low grade on a test, that there was much room for improvement. And one of the best things that the teacher or the professor would teach us during this class was that he wanted to see improvement. And if you started out with a 80 or a 90 or even an A on that exam, then although you might have been a genius as far as the curriculum standpoint, there was not that much room for improvement on the scale here. And a lot of times in life, we want to think that, hey, we got to have that A, or hey, we got to have that high B, or we must have this to reach this goal or whatnot. When we realize that we must put in the effort, put in the time, and and although we may fail and that we may not always succeed at the current time, we can't focus on the past entirely because the past prepares us for the present and the present prepares us for the future. And that's one incredible concept that we must understand. The past cannot change our future in an aspect if because the future is made from now and into the future, but the past can influence our future by building us up, even breaking us down or tearing us down to make us into a better person moving forward. And I really hope some of you don't get lost on that concept, but we need the past to get to the present, and we need the present to get to the past. And the third topic I'd like to just briefly mention here is when building confidence, one of the lost arts is being able to sit down and just say you're sorry. And some people will say, wait a minute, what does that have to do with building confidence? Well, it has everything to do with building confidence. Let me give you an example. If if you know you intentionally wrong someone, or you know that you intentionally did not do something the right way, or maybe you hurt someone's feelings, or maybe you feel responsible for something that happened to someone else. We'll leave it with that. Apologizing is love in action. That's the way I like to describe it. I'll say that again. Apologizing is love in action. We must know that apologizing clears the air. It does not take away what has happened. It does not erase what has happened. But what it does is it wipes the slate and it just cleans it a little bit to where you can build upon it. So So once again, building confidence is extremely important to not have a winning at all cost mentality, realizing there are ups and there are downs. You must not cling to the past, but you also must be willing to stop and just say that you're sorry along the way because we're not going to do everything right. In fact, I've never met one person that's done everything right in one single day. What you think about that one? So now, once we get to the main points here of how do you build that confidence, I'm going to give you three simple tools here and techniques that I've used personally that I hope can benefit you in the process. Okay, one, when you want to build confidence, you have to figure out in what areas do you need to build confidence in. So I would take out a piece of paper and I would recommend make two columns. Make one column things I'm confident in. Make the next column things I'm not so confident in. Yet. Yet. Yet is a very, very key word there. And the things that you are confident in presently, I would write down those activities, whether it's reading, writing, uh, math, whether it's conversations with other people, things that maybe you're not so confident in yet. Maybe it's studying, maybe it's physics, maybe it's learning a foreign language, whatever it may be. And then I would take and I would say, okay, get feedback from others and say, okay, I realize I'm not so confident in, for instance, meeting new people. How can I meet new people and be confident at it? And take others' feedback. Now I will say this, be careful who you get feedback from because a lot of people will tell you what you want to hear. The great feedback comes from people that does not tell you what you want to hear, but they tell you the truth. And then they're able to tell you the truth in knowing that you can receive the truth. So it's very important that you get in the right mindset of telling someone, don't tell me what I want to hear, tell me what I need to hear. Tell me the truth about what's important to me and what I need to hear. The next step would be to actually show the change. When you get the feedback, apply action to that feedback. One of the great qualities of any leader that is learning to become confident, that is confident, is they can take constructive criticism well, or they can take criticism from others and apply it and turn it into a positive manner and be able to change that for their benefit immediately into the future, but then also to be able to use that as the leader progresses and the leader matures into the benefit of others into the future. Remember, a true leader is not one that can lead themselves, but that can lead others. But then when you can inspire others to become leaders, that is a whole different level of leadership there in the sign of a mature leader. And the last thing I would say is perhaps the most important thing is do not stop there. Constantly reevaluate yourself to see where you need to change, where you need to modify things. Remember that if you lack confidence in a certain area today, even though if you improve on it today, into tomorrow, into next week, that does not mean that progress should be stopped then. In fact, the more progress you'll make, the more you realize that there's areas to improve in, where you constantly reevaluating yourself to where you know that I need to improve here, here, and here continually. Continuous improvement is what makes leaders reach their maximum potential each and every day. I hope this has been beneficial to you. Please feel free to like or subscribe to the channel below. And until next time, take care.